Hello, my friends. Welcome to OCEAN Accelerator Cohort 8 Demo Day. My name is Luke Dooley. I am the president and CEO at OCEAN, and I'm just really grateful that you've chosen to spend part of your time with us. We're here in Atlanta with some friends, and we're all around the world live streaming with a whole bunch of you. So thanks to wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from, even if you're watching this at some time later than today on the recording. We're really glad to be here. And I'm just going to say hello briefly and give a couple remarks, and then I'm going to introduce you to some other wonderful people that you're going to spend the next little bit of time with. And then I'll see you right at the end of the show to kind of wrap up our time together. But when we decided that we were going to do this, and then we came into the week that we've come into, we felt remiss to stand on a stage in a room full of people and an audience full of people online and not just pause and bring awareness to and acknowledge the fact that, man, it has been a difficult couple weeks in our nation, and that there has been some really unfortunate things going on across the country that unfortunately are motivated by hatred and by evil and by racial hatred. And that's just the only way to say it. And we are grieved by that. And we acknowledge that, we're aware of that, and we're just aware that there are people feeling that very heavily these days, literally in these moments and in these days. Some of those people are in this room. Some of those people are going to be on this stage with you because they represent communities that have been impacted by these unfortunate and terrible things that have happened. And so that's the paradox of life, isn't it, right? That babies are born and grandparents die in the same day, and that tragedies happen and we show up to events and stand on stages and want to clap and cheer and celebrate. And we just hold that tension and that paradox in our hands just for a moment here as we open and acknowledge that. And then we say, isn't this what the work of renewal and redemption is about? That there are people going, man, that's not right. And I want to make a better place, and I want to make a difference in the world that's positive, and I want to carve out a new future that's more kind and compassionate and full of love. And you're going to meet some of those people today. They're entrepreneurs. You could define an entrepreneur a lot of ways. There's all kinds of definitions that you could pick from. Last year, one of our cohort members, he chose to make a little film that talked about what is an entrepreneur, sort of from our perspective. So that's how we're going to open today, with this quick look at what is an entrepreneur.
What makes an entrepreneur? Is it the ability to endure the long hours, the stress, the loneliness? That's what we're told, but alone those can actually break an entrepreneur. After all, nobody wants to be known as tired, lonely, and stressed. But what if it could be more? What if being an entrepreneur meant having a community? People who understand the journey. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. What makes an entrepreneur? A lot of things. But what we make, plain and simple, is community.
Welcome to Demo Day 2022. My name is Christy. I get the privilege of stewarding our work at OCEAN as our COO, and I'm so happy that you're here with us today. I want to tell you a little bit about what you can expect, and then tell you a little bit about OCEAN. So you are at Demo Day, which means you're going to hear pitches from early stage, high-tech, venture-backable founders. It's a lot of hyphens, I know. So if any of you would like to workshop that with our team afterwards, we welcome the feedback. So these companies are early stage. This means that the founders have probably very recently left their full-time jobs. They're figuring out, how do I navigate life without health insurance? How do I figure out how to pay my mortgage, buy my groceries? And the companies are early stage. So they're still figuring out, who's my ideal customer? Making my first sale, raising money so that they can get to that point. So that's who you're going to meet today. 10 in a row, they're going to come fast. So buckle up And get ready. If you need to like stretch out, that's fine. We've got, space. So we're just really, really happy that you're here. The thing about early stage entrepreneurs is that it's a season just defined by paradox, by opportunity and risk, by potential and uncertainty. And this is where OCEAN meets entrepreneurs every day in their earliest, most vulnerable stages. And we say, hey, there are 3 things you're going to need to get through this. You're going to need some practical business skills. We're going to help you with those. Easy to learn. You just got to get into the rhythm. You're going to need some timeless biblical wisdom, because I'll tell you what, the journey is tumultuous at every turn, and unless you are anchored in something outside of your material success, it's going to get really hard really, really fast. And then you need to be surrounded by other people who know what it's like. We're going to bring you into a community of other entrepreneurs. Now, we've been at this work for 8 years, and I want to tell you a little bit about how it's been going. We have 350 alumni from 27 states and 18 different countries. About 300 of those 350 are starting small businesses. They're starting things like barbershops by freelance marketing agencies, bakeries, that kind of stuff. 84% of those alumni are still in business. We've helped launch 52 high-tech companies like the ones you're going to meet today. In an industry where 10% of companies make it past 18 months, 54% of our alumni are still in operation. And they've gone on to raise $75 million. They're raising at valuations like $45 million, $65 million, $1.5 billion. We've even realized 2 exits in 7 short years. And one of those exits was from a company called Sawa, which was acquired by MailChimp right here in Atlanta. Now, those are some pretty serious business outcomes, and we're really proud of that. But that's not what makes OCEAN different as an accelerator. What we believe is that a healthy, integrated founder is essential to the potential, to the longevity, and ultimately to the legacy of a company. And so in every training program that we offer, we are committed to building a space where founders can show up as their whole selves, where things like pitch practicing and budgeting are just as important, but not more important than rhythms of rest and renewal, where the measure of your relational health isn't just how many networking calls can you log in a week. And this, I'll tell you what, this is not just an add-on about mental health. We don't just offer platitudes about work-life balance. The heart and the health of the founder is central to everything that we do at OCEAN, because we believe that something good, something generative, something life-giving cannot grow from rotten roots. A founder cannot build a business, cannot build a tech platform that claims to connect people, to foster generosity and empowerment, if that founder is greedy, selfish, and controlling. A founder cannot build a business that is agile and sustainable if that founder is stubborn and fragile. A founder could not build a business where employees realize life-giving work if that founder is burned out. And so at OCEAN, we keep the heart and the health of the founder in the middle of everything we do. And we do this because we were founded by, founders. 8 years ago, there were 3 entrepreneurs up in Cincinnati. That's where our company is based. And they were looking at other accelerators. And they looked around and they thought, man, I just wish there was something that cared about my friendships, my family, that cared about my spiritual health just as much as they cared about how fast can I grow a unicorn business. I wish there was a different way. And then they started asking around, saying oh man, we're not the only ones who feel this way. Asking around, and then very quickly a community of faith leaders, of experienced entrepreneurs, of retired CEOs, volunteers, mentors, service providers raised their hand and said, hey, entrepreneurs, we think there's a different way, and we want to help you find it. And so these people are just a few of those who have volunteered and given so much of their time to help founders start businesses from a place of personal health. And that work was championed by a man right in the middle of this screen, Scott Weiss, who led OCEAN as our CEO for 7 years. He recently retired. So congratulations, Scott, if you're watching. And, you know, word is getting out. Word is getting out in entrepreneurial circles that there's this place where founders can go and be human. They're coming to OCEAN. They're coming to OCEAN from places like other accelerators and incubators, from exited fintech startups. They're coming to OCEAN with experience in international software shops. They are saying, hey, yep, that right there, that's what I want. And we think, honestly, like they're incredible. I cannot wait for you to meet these founders. One of the teams that you're going to meet today are two women who met in their early days as early employees at Venmo. And after our first week, so this was back in very early March, April said to me, you guys are different. You take the accelerator model and you invert it, and then you put the people right in the middle. I am so glad that we get to be a part of this. That's what April said. Well, to April and all the other founders represented today, we are so glad that you get to be a part of it. And to those joining us to meet them, thank you for being here. We're so glad you're here. Let's get started.
So for a long time, the primary way that we in the West engaged with developing countries was we'd raise a bunch of money and we'd give it to them. It became super popular, right? I had to paste Bono up here. But as time went on and poor countries, things weren't really getting better, we realized we had to do things a little bit differently. We had to go in, get on the ground, kind of understand what was going on there. And so that's what we did. And that's still what we do today. This is a picture of me in a slum in Nairobi going door to door asking people about their economic lives. Now, this is an improvement for sure, right? Some data is better than no data, but you're not really going to understand the texture of what's going on the ground with so little data. It's just not enough. The fact is, data has become the currency of our time. Folks at NGOs and nonprofits, they work day in and day out trying to get these insights, but they just don't have the right tools. And this is what we build at Simba. At Simba, we make it inexpensive and easy to send surveys out to large groups of people pretty much anywhere in the world. This is no small task. I mean, mobile technology, it has changed things for us, but it's not in the way that we understand it. The guy in this picture, he's probably not holding a smartphone. And even if he were, it's unlikely he has the kind of internet access he would need to use it the way we do. We need something very nimble, something very simple. And it turns out that in a lot of places, text messaging people is the easiest way to get a hold of them. So that's what we do. We make it simple and easy to text message out, surveys, feedback, data, all that kind of stuff to a lot of different people, pull that in and leverage advanced analytics, things like AI, machine learning, even things like synthetic data to do projections and really understand and parse out the variables on the ground, right? Really understand what's going on. Now, this gives us an opportunity because over time, we can kind of corner some IP on this when we dig into really what is important in these areas, how do we think about it, what models can we build, right? But it also gives NGOs access to tools that there's no way that they could build themselves. And as a result, NGOs and nonprofits have access to customer insights and intelligence the way we do in tech, the kind of stuff that we use every day to make decisions. All of a sudden, their programs, they can pivot and they can react. If there's a crisis somewhere in the world, they're able to go into it. What's going on there on the ground? What are the variables at play? And roll out something that is the most likely to make a difference. This is a problem that my co-founder, Katie Simon, and I have been working on for about a year. We both have decade-plus careers in tech, her as a software engineer, me managing programs that leverage big data to handle decision-making and customer analysis. We met, as Christy was saying, as early employees at Venmo, immediately bonded over shared values, and take this perspective and experience to the complicated problem of how we solve last-mile data in these very challenging environments. Now, let's dig into the numbers. If you're familiar with Palantir, we take a Palantir-style approach to the way that we engage with organizations and the data that we collect, charging a fixed annual fee tiered to the size of the organization for use of both our survey software and our analytics tools. Now, the fee that you see here is for a larger organization, and it's about 10% what they would spend per country doing this exact same thing. Given the number of organizations and programs and projects that are going on all around the world, it's really huge. There's sizable opportunity for annual revenue. And just to level set, we don't really think about it like this, but this industry is huge. Americans donated $470 billion to charity in 2020. This amounts to about $16 billion spent on monitoring and evaluation, the area that we work in, and controlling for a number of different variables, we're looking at about a $6 billion serviceable market. Now, with such a giant market, obviously there's other players in the space. The main competitor, I guess if you want to call it that, are these internal nonprofit groups that go around door to door with pen and paper getting information. But there are a lot of consulting firms that work in this area too. And of course, there are tech companies that do try to solve this problem, but the way they usually do it is what would be intuitive for you or me. They build apps, they do stuff for smartphones, they do stuff for tablets, and honestly, this guy doesn't have a smartphone, right? So it doesn't work. We're still back at the problem of scale. Now, some organizations do this very, very well down here at the lower right. These are like grassroots organizations, often in healthcare and agriculture, things like that. They're really trying to solve a problem. This is how we know it works. For small organizations that do this, it works really well. But they're not technology companies. They can't scale. Me and Katie's goal is to make this ubiquitous throughout the industry. Now, in terms of where we're actually at, we have an MVP. We just soft launched in Zambia, and we have a number of pilots and programs launching over the summer and through the rest of the year to really dial in that last mile piece, because if we don't get that right for people, the user experience, for people that are different than us, right, we're not going to get that big data we need to do really interesting stuff. So for example, we're partnering with a Kenyan farming cooperative. They like to be able to access export markets, but the quality of their yield, it's not at export standards. So we're working with a local social enterprise, build out some tools, some survey stuff, some monitoring, et cetera, so they can adopt advanced farming techniques, improve the quality of their yield, and access export markets, which would just change the game for people in this small rural community. Now, the problem of last mile data, it is a little piece in a really big puzzle, but it's something that we can and need to do better if we're gonna move the needle. At Simba, we run lean. It's part of our ethos. Just look at the people we work with, right? It's important for us to gain their trust. So we have a bootstrap budget through the end of the year, but we are raising a $500,000 round to give us runway through 2023 so we can grow, operate in additional countries, and take on some staff to build those ML models and that kind of stuff that we love and find so interesting. Let's give NGOs and the people they serve the technology that they deserve. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I was just doom scrolling, going from page to page to page without really understanding how I got there or even how much time I spent. Do you ever do that? Do you ever find yourself from one news article to the next when you really just started to your day just trying to get updated? This is a question I was asking back in February 2020, or January 2020, when I came across this article. This article is massively important. It says that there are dozens of people that just caught a novel virus, and yet industry leaders and leaders everywhere weren't really paying that much attention to it. They were more focused on what was going on with their social news aggregation or what the president was tweeting. How did we get here? This is what we've been asking our users in finance, healthcare, and research, and they've been telling us the search engine is broken. It takes hours to find what's actually important and relevant to your industry niche on any given day, and news aggregators just drown you in too much information. They say that the industry has stagnated over the last couple of decades, and It's actually gotten a lot worse. So what's the solution? Imagine if information sorted itself and didn't come to you unless it hit a certain threshold of importance. Imagine that you could actually respond to the information that comes to you and say, hey, you know what, this is worth it, or hey, this was super important. Please tell me more updates that are like this. Enter Creba page. 24/7 monitoring over thousands of resources that are specifically selected and curated for you, and you can actually change the algorithm. You can do this through a 5-minute setup, and after 10 Creba pages are sent to you, which takes about 10 minutes, you're already on your way to creating an algorithm and a process that's unique to you, that informs you so you can stay as informed as the president or even Batman. And you might be asking, doesn't this already exist? Well, no. If you think about the market, all of the major players out there for research and information are focused on business models where they get paid based on advertising. This means that they get paid to keep drowning you in more and more and more information. Creba sits in a part of the market that believes that the user is willing to pay to get rid of all that noise, kind of like paying for Netflix to get rid of all the advertisement. Not only that, we think that it's a very large market. By 2028, we see 10 million users paying $150 a month, bringing it up to a $1.5 billion MRR. And to prove this, we've actually have a lot of traction. Since March, we've had over 41 iterations of the product. We have over 500 responses, tuned responses, to create unique algorithms and processes from paying users in research, healthcare, and finance, paying on average $149 a month. But we've actually had to stop onboarding users, and that's why we're raising a $1.2 million round to hire the team we need to go from servicing just a couple dozen users to thousands of users to tens of thousands of users to help them take back their time. Hi, I'm Mark Lukowski. I've taken several companies from idea to revenue stage, some of them reaching 7 figures plus. I got an amazing team behind me, ready to be hired soon if I had the capital today. And speaking of timelines, I can't help but wonder, how could the last 2 years been different if we didn't have so much distracting information, if we actually got the data that we needed at the right time? How could we, as leaders, have actually led better? And in the future, how can we be more intentional about our relationship with how we process information? Creba.page, how industry leaders stay informed. If you're an investor looking to disrupt the informational services market, and make a lot of money doing it, you have our email address. Please outreach to us and tell us why you're excited and what you could do to help. And if you want to sign up for Creba.page, please email us and mention that you watched the OCEAN Accelerator Demo Day, and we'll make sure that you're first in the queue, so as soon as we finish raising our funds, you're going to be one of the first people onboarded, and you could start changing your life. Thank you.
There are a billion knowledge workers out there. And there's a $53 billion productivity software market meant to help them. Then why are we in the midst of this great resignation? And why are so many people stressed, burnt out, and barely holding it together? Well, here's one of those people. Meet Katie. She's a married millennial mom with young children. She works from home and is a founder of an early-stage startup. But she constantly feels the pressure from culture to have everything under control. But she doesn't. And a lot of us don't either. Her day consists of frantically running to drop off her kids at school, hurrying for meetings, trying to respond to tons of Slack, email, text messages, and then her kids are getting back home after soccer practice asking what's for dinner. At the end of the day, she is exhausted. Too tired to fully engage with her family or explore other ideas that she may have, like writing a children's book. The problem Katie faces every day is twofold. Her tasks are all over the place, making it hard for her to see what she even wants to do. And then when she can remember a task, she still needs help to do it. but doesn't know who to turn to, making her feel isolated and alone. Meet Bosa. We're here to help Katie and the billion other people out there who are barely holding it together. With Bosa, Katie can easily collect her tasks from where they're created, like text messages and email, and put them into one place. Other apps make Katie manually aggregate her tasks, but Bosa automates this process by integrating into the tools that Katie already uses, making her feel less overwhelmed. But Bosa doesn't stop there. The intelligence of the Bosa framework connects Katie to the right people to help her with each task, and that's what makes Bosa so different. So, for example, Bosa suggests that Katie ask her husband, Mike, to schedule their kid's doctor's appointment that she's been putting off for about 2 weeks. Bosa also prompts Katie to reach out to her team to share and collaborate on a few marketing tasks that she actually needs to get done by tomorrow. Bosa then encourages Katie to reach out to the broader Bosa community to learn the best way to write that children's book that she's wanted to write for 3 years. This healthy and robust Bosa community attracts users, creating a stickiness to the product, creating a network effect, and over time, that increases engagement and retention. And connecting Katie to this Bosa community makes her feel supported and empowered to go after her ideas, dreams, and aspirations so that she can change the world. Our go-to-market strategy is to start by building Bosa for the 13 million millennial moms who are just like Katie. And out of those 1 billion knowledge workers, millennial moms are overlooked by the productivity software market despite their influence. But this gap in the market is our entry point. Moms like Katie spend 20 hours a week to share and spread the word about new products that help them be better professionals, parents, just people. Targeting this overlooked market allows us to go from pre-revenue to post-revenue in the next 12 to 18 months, while creating a simple and repeatable growth loop. This allows us to scale from Katie to 13 million millennial moms to the 1 billion knowledge workers in the $53 billion productivity software market. This allows us to have a line of sight to profitable growth over the next 3 to 4 years. And we'll start with monthly subscriptions. And as Bosa scales, we'll build out our IP to create a unique customer experience and expand our growth via third-party integrations and partnerships, data monetization, and a B2B offering. So, just like the billion knowledge workers that are out there, and likely a lot of you, my co-founder EJ and I experienced burnout. But with our backgrounds leading operations and product, and our unique market insights, we're the team to redefine productivity. We built Bosa in-house and developed a high-touch onboarding process that allowed us to onboard 40 early users. And we learned how to quickly take users from onboarding to impact. And that millennial moms like Katie are our ideal early users. And that community, like all of you, is our differentiator. We previously raised $179,000 from Backstage Capital, Behind Genius Ventures, 11 Tribes, and a few angel investors. Now, we're raising $300,000 to quickly speed up product development, establish our brand so that we can quickly capture this initial audience. So, if you're an investor and love what we're doing and passionate about helping people become productive without sacrificing their well-being, we'd love to chat with you. You can reach out to me at anastasia@bosa.life. And if you aren't an investor but love what we're building, please sign up at bosa.life. Let's redefine productivity together.
Artists are having a tough time in America. The number of artists that canceled Shopify accounts in 2019, 2020, and again in 2021 was 95%. Less than 5% of artists make enough in a year to call their passion their full-time job. Artists have a sense of FOMO on the increased value of their art. The secondary art market is not built for artists. Artists struggle with unpredictable sales and on average make around 85% of their entire income in only 2 short months. $7 billion, that was the amount of money paid in royalties by Spotify to musicians in 2021. $0 was paid that same year in royalties to fine artists. And in a $30 billion fine art market, we believe artists should be fairly compensated for their work. This was my mom. Her art had sold for tens of thousands of dollars. And yet years before I was even born, her career as an artist had all but faded. And when she unexpectedly passed away, beyond our memories, all we had left of her was her art. When we talk to artists, they spend a majority of their time on marketing and sales and every facet of running a small business. It's all too easy for artists like my mom to quit when they're spending so much time and energy on things outside of what they love to do. Artists are failing. We believe artists should be able to succeed and more people should have access to their art. Consumers are moving from ownership to access. Patrons want to support local artists, but committing to a piece feels like a difficult, lifelong decision. Why buy movies when we have Netflix? Why buy music when we have Spotify? This is how the world is moving, and that's exactly why we built Kiki. Think about your own rotating art gallery in your home or your office. Artists leverage Kiki to rent, or as we call it, host their art out to patrons. These patrons range from technology to hospitality to churches, intent. Really anyone looking for original art. Your space becomes part of a distributed, city-wide art gallery. You simply subscribe, choose your art, and Kiki's white glove team delivers, installs, and exchanges the art out at the end of your term. But where we are most excited is how we are leveraging our IP and our technology to really help the artist win.
So while the art is hosted in patron space, there's a QR code that anybody can scan to learn more about that artwork and hear the artist's story. We can then analyze that engagement and use it to dynamically set the best price for that particular piece. That means that an artist's work is growing in value while they're getting monthly income from it, and that's before it even sells. When it does sell, they get paid, as you'd expect, and at a better rate than if they'd sold it through a gallery. But more importantly, they get to keep 5% equity in their artwork for all time. Here's what that means. When Teresa's here. There's Teresa. Hey, Teresa. When your masterpiece initially sells for $1,000, when it goes on to sell for $1 million, which it will, you're gonna get a $50,000 paycheck. And if it sells again, she'll get paid again. And Kiki takes a slice of each of those transactions. We're bringing new efficiencies to this $30 billion market using blockchain. Every artwork is connected to an NFT. And that allows us to use smart contracts to automatically pay the artists when a piece is sold. It allows us to give owners a certificate of authenticity that they can trust. Our IP is giving us the confidence to go after this huge market. And our entry point is the $6 billion obtainable market of people who want access over ownership. We take a % of every transaction, not just the monthly subscription, not just when an art piece sells, but every subsequent resale of that piece for all time. We're starting in Atlanta, and next year we're going to expand into 5 major cities, and we'll have $500,000 in monthly recurring revenue.
We launched our pilot just 4 weeks ago, and in 4 short weeks, we have a partnership with JLL, the largest commercial real estate company in the country. JLL serves the biggest global brands, and when those global brands go to JLL looking for art, they're sending them to Kiki. We have LOIs with technology and hospitality companies and hundreds of patrons on our wait list. I'm Luke Keller, co-founder and CEO. I have 10 plus years of SaaS enterprise sales experience. I built and sold a quickly scaling company, and with that, successful sales teams across multiple cities.
My name's Brenton Strine. I'm a founder, and I have over 20 years of experience writing code. Most of that building enterprise websites for multiple millions of users at companies like Amazon, NASA, and MailChimp. I also am the founder of a nonprofit community called RefCode.
We have an incredible group of curators and advisors helping us to continue to break into the art community, as well as land additional large enterprise deals. We are raising $750,000 to continue to build our team, onboard more artists, access more patrons, and to take our website from our beta to go-to-market version 1.0. If you are an investor excited about the most practical use of NFTs, we want to connect. If you're not an investor, but you're passionate about art, go to kiki.art and join the wait list. Hope and opportunity, that is what our artists are saying Kiki is bringing. Join the Kiki revolution in making artists famous and valued in their lifetime. Thank you.
So let me start by asking you, imagine you're a migrant worker from Nepal. A recruitment agent comes to you from your village and tells you that gives you a job offer in Dubai. Well, here's the catch. You have to pay 10 months of your salary to get that job. You don't have that kind of money. So you mortgage your house and give everything that you got. So you pack your bags and move all the way to the land of opportunities. But once you reach Dubai, you realize that there was no dream job waiting for you, and you were roundly duped by unscrupulous agents. Frustrating, right? And that's exactly what happened to our friend Binod. With nowhere to go and a mortgage waiting for him back home in Nepal, he came to Hunter looking for a way out. And we helped him get a job. And here's what he has to say. I'm going for delivery around Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Thank God you gave me a chance to really change my life. Hunter is the next-gen marketplace that connects blue-collar and healthcare workers with some of the largest companies in the Middle East. We put an end to exorbitant middlemen and placement agencies. We do this by where the client gets access to trained workers through our government partners. And as a result, the candidate lands in Dubai with zero debt, no emotional trauma, and they are better trained for the work which they've been recruited for. My name is Samuel, and I'm the CEO and founder of Hunter. I used to previously lead large digital transformation projects for the Emirates Group. And I'm an advisor to the United Nations and the World Bank. My partner, Prem Nair, founded a company which turns over $30 million. And he has a wealth of experience in operations as well as strategic networks. We are in a really hard market, and we generate $25,000 MRR. Well, we're just getting started because we just recently onboarded one of the largest companies in the UAE airports, which includes the Dubai airports, one of the busiest airports in the world. What that means in terms of revenue, we're adding $50,000 to our top line revenue. So our vision, well, we are creating a workforce ecosystem Imagine a Microsoft for the blue-collar sector, starting with the recruitment marketplace and then moving to the SaaS onboarding platform, and finally a fintech offering where the candidates get to send money back home at a fraction of a cost. So our total addressable market is $40 billion. And what is our go-to-market strategy? Well, we obsess about channels of distribution. And as a result, we've been able to get partnership with the government of India and certain governments of Africa. We've raised $225,000, notably from 2 venture capitalists and 1 angel. And we're raising $2 million that will be split across sales, operations, and product. This will fuel our growth and hit the targets mentioned on the slide. Prem and I are on a mission to redefine the workforce ecosystem. Would you partner with us? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie LaFleur, and I am the CEO and one of the founders of Crown Hunt. 2020 is a year that we'll remember as one that initiated many unprecedented things in our lives. We'll also remember it as a year that we stopped doing so many things that had once been routine. Aside from wearing real pants, we also stopped dyeing our gray hair and straightening our curly hair. And like returning to the office, no one wants to go back to normal. 65% of the people in this country, that's over 200 million people, so this is not niche, y'all, have textured hair or curly to coily hair. Yet 1 in 10 stylists has been trained in how to actually care for these hair textures. This shift in how people wear their hair is something that the industry is just not prepared for. This means that when I visit a salon or when Christy visits a salon, we're likely to leave unhappy with the result. And sometimes even humiliated because we've been rejected from the salon altogether. This happened to me. And it was a terrible experience for me, but it was also a terrible experience for the stylist. This is the gap in this $62 billion industry that Crown Hunt is filling. We make life easier for people with curly hair by making sure that stylists are equipped with the relevant training that they need to serve every member in their community and grow their business. And we're beginning with the 1.2 million hair professionals who are not trained properly for this current movement. In our early product market fit testing, we launched an online education subscription for stylists with an emphasis in textured hair. And we quickly grew to over 2,300 members through targeted advertising. This validated that our early testing and the market demand for this is really high. And we did this in collaboration with top educators whose work had been seen in major brands and media. The time is now. We're leveraging 3 macro trends that are driving growth in this industry. The state of Louisiana next month will begin requiring cosmetology schools to include textured hair training in their curriculum for the first time in its history. The Crown Act is making its way through the Senate and protects people with textured hair like mine to be able to go to work and school with their hair natural and not be discriminated against. This is driving a growth in the demand for natural hair salon services. And the move towards organic products has led to a mass rejection of the harsh chemicals required to straighten hair. This convergence of legislation is fueling an already growing market, and it's why we believe that Crown Hunt is a rare early-stage investment opportunity. Our freemium and our standard tiers are built for the stylists looking to stay on trend, and we're already selling a la carte classes through that freemium tier. Our premium tier is built for the stylists looking to grow their business with client match and by selling hair products as an affiliate. This unlocks an ability for us to add subscriptions for consumers, for product makers, and enterprise solutions for cosmetology schools. But our secret sauce is in our ability to take all of this data and create highly customized experiences for every persona in this industry. We're raising $1 million, and as of this morning, we've already raised $250,000. We are developing our team, beginning with our CTO. We are going to use this also to go from an a la carte sales model to a software, a SaaS subscription. And we are also using this to convert our existing 2,300 members as well as new stylists to an annual subscription. We're uniquely qualified to do this. We have 20 years combined experience building platform technology, and thankfully, we're not alone. We're accompanied by an incredibly qualified group of advisors whose experience spans from industry experts in beauty to tech to building and scaling some of the largest, most successful companies in the world. This is a rare opportunity. One, not only to invest in a company that is high growth, BIPOC, female-led, that's a lot, but also to invest in a company who is building products for an ecosystem of underserved entrepreneurs built for scale. If this is your thing, scan this QR code. We have a crowdfund live, so you can invest right now, and stop by the first table outside and learn more. Thank you.
How we doing? Good? 6. You have met 6 early stage, high growth, venture backable companies. There are 4 more waiting to tell you about what they're building. And before we meet them, I want to take a couple minutes, shake it out if you need to, stretch the legs. But we've got some people that are important to thank. The first thing that I want to make sure everyone knows is that we have founders on stage today, but we actually have a number of founders who are part of co-founding teams. So a lot of the companies who are in this accelerator have more than one founder, and they're here today. We would love for you to meet them at the happy hour. So do that. The other thing we missed that transition. The other thing we want to do is say a giant thank you to our sponsors who have helped make the programs of OCEAN possible. You've seen some of them in the videos to break through this program, and some of them are here today. But what's really special is that there are companies led by entrepreneurs who think, you know what, helping founders stay healthy so that they can build a strong business and contribute to the flourishing of their community is something that I want my company to be a part of. And so they've come alongside OCEAN, they've come alongside this cohort and helped provide a lot of that support. So thank you to all of our sponsors for the Accelerator and for Demo Day. We also want to say a giant thank you to many, many, many speakers who met with the cohort, who offered their subject matter expertise, who joined our pitch practice sessions and gave feedback, who have met one-on-one with founding teams and offered them feedback and input on their things like their revenue models and their go-to-market strategy and their fundraising strategy and their business roadmap. We could not do what we do to help such quality companies get off the ground without the help of a giant community of mentors and presenters. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of that over the last 12 weeks. I want to say a special thank you to our entrepreneur in residence for this cohort. Tim Schuster is right here, and he'll be around for happy hour too. Tim, thanks so much for jumping in with this cohort. We are really, really grateful for the wisdom and the care that you brought to the experience. Now, I would be remiss not to say another thank you to James Matthews, who has been the managing director of OCEAN Cohort 8. James, on behalf of our OCEAN team and all of the founders and the broader OCEAN community, I want to say thank you. And could you tell us, healthy founders, strong businesses, flourishing communities?
Christy, thank you, and Luke, for doing what you do. Thank you. In the middle of this cohort, we took a retreat to Boulder. And it was a time to reflect, because this is an impossible task. You have 10 founders coming in. It's not hard to not see the stats. 1 in 10 will be successful. 9 are supposed to die. And while we were at this retreat, this is why what OCEAN does matters. And I see Mark here from 11 Tribes. Mark, what you do with your venture fund matters, believing in founders. It's incredible what you do. But it can feel, if you're 1 out of 10 and you're supposed to be, could be in one of the 9, the odds don't look good. But while we were in Boulder, we got to go. If you are burnt out, like I love what Bosa does, too many tasks. I have 200,000 unread emails. And I don't want to read emails. I'm forced to read emails. I love what our founders are doing. What they do matters. But when we were in Boulder at our retreat, we were able to go to this place run by the Caliguires. Go to soulcare.com. A lot of us need a place of refuge. And while we were there, I just wrote down some notes listening to Mindy Caliguire talk. And it occurred to me that in the Old Testament, the prophet Ezekiel writes about this valley of bones. And that's what entrepreneurs, every single person coming on stage today, is staring at. You're not supposed to succeed. It's a valley of dry bones. And this is what I wrote, and hearing Mindy mixed in with my own words, so I don't know who to give credit to, but God invites us to this valley. And let this speak to you as well. Those of you guys who are rushed, calm down, this is for you. We're inviting you into this journey. This is all of our races. God invites us to the valley, and he asks our opinion. Our response should be, God, only you know. And that's why, Teresa, your art matters. Keep painting. Keep painting. I love that you're here. God, only you know. I'm in the middle of valley of dry bones. We often want to run away from this valley of lost bones, but while the bones have undoubtedly died, the valley is still full of life and possibilities. Don't be quick to run. God can and will raise an army. So we tell the founders, seek God's voice, seek your purpose, ask God to please speak, remnants of Eli telling Samuel, and tell God, speak, your servants are listening. And sometimes God may speak in the silence. That's what the entrepreneurship journey is like. We have to train our founders to be able to see the most clearly when their eyes are closed, because God sometimes may speak in the silence. There's a new wave of leader that is emerging, born out of hustle culture. A radical change is on the horizon, and there's a deep refusal to allow the soul-sucking rhythm of hustle take the life out of rest, nurture, stability, and overflow. Rest, nurture, stability, and overflow. Is there anybody here that doesn't need those 4 things? And that's what Ocean does. And so it's been my privilege to be able to journey with these founders, because it matters, even what Simba talked about in the beginning. If you've been to the grocery store, you see food prices rising. Why can't we get African farmers to earn a wage and get us food over here, export quality? Why can't we be more productive but nurtured and rested? Why can't we, why does that have to happen to those people in Nepal who are looking for jobs? Thank God for somebody stepping into the valley of dry bones. You're going to hear more from more founders here coming up. They want to bring families together. They want to have those who are susceptible to addiction on the digital wavelength to find freedom. That's why this matters, and that's why we do what we do. Thank you for being a part of it. Let's speak life to the bones.
Too often, I've heard my friends say, I'm spending so much money and time on therapy. And as I listen to them unpack their sessions, the roots usually stem from everyday family dynamics to adverse childhood experiences. And honestly, same. Growing up, my upbringing was tumultuous, and I almost lost my way during my teenage years. And now, as an adult, it's taking a lot of intentional time and effort to heal. But I always wondered, could we prevent these issues earlier in life? So we dove into research and found one major barrier to thriving lives. Something so simple, but severely overlooked. A lack of time, a lack of quality time with children and safe adults. Quality time with safe adults, like parents, defines how a child's mind develops, like their literal brains, affecting future cognitive, social, emotional, linguistic, and even physical development. And in this new era, family interactions are changing. Survey shows that on weekdays, families spend an average of only 37 minutes together, but 3 hours isolated alone on screens. When we aren't equipping our children with safe environments to talk through life's biggest questions or discover their identity, we leave it to pop culture and society to answer them.
This is why we created Milu. We're on a mission to change the ways families flourish and create whole, healthy people. Pulling strategically from the concepts of play therapy and neuroscience, we design quality time for families. We do this through our fun and immersive kits that empower your child to be confident in who they are, thrive in community, and become culture shapers for a better world. We create with our team of Milu makers, that's industry experts and everyday families. For just one kit, we ask hundreds of families this golden question: what is something you know now that you wish you knew when you were younger? We take their life lessons and turn them into fun and immersive playtimes through immersive storylines, fun activities, crafts, games, and Socratic discussion questions. This sounds like play, but what they're really doing is they're being equipped for the tools they need for life, all in one box. Tools like critical thinking, empathy, problem solving, and many more. Between Sana and I, we have a combined 15 years of experience helping global brands understand Gen Z and millennial behavior at companies like Nintendo, YWAM, Praxis, Quizlet, and more. We get to co-create again with our Milu makers. These are play therapists, neuroscientists, and industry leaders from Disney, DreamWorks, Snapchat, and many others.
So does this work? Well, our first Kickstarter campaign was fully funded in just 9 hours. This was our first step into the kids' activity box market that's projected to reach $5.7 billion by 2031. But that's just the start, because as we expand our IP and grow, we'll take up space in the education toy market that sits at a TAM of $68 billion. And we're already reaching our ideal customers. Busy millennial parents like Mina, a momtrepreneur from LA, or Tiff, a Midwest homeschooling mom. Both have kids ages from 5 to 10 years old, and boy, are their hands full. After hearing about their friends rave about the deep conversations and interactions that are coming out of Milu, they choose to purchase a kit theme relevant to their child's development. Kit themes like embracing your uniqueness, navigating your emotions, curiosity that leads to empathy, and even practical things like finances. Once they open the box, they'll find everything they need. No more trips to the stores for supplies or stressing over creating curriculum.
And this is a growing market. One competitor, a STEM kit, has sold over 25 million boxes in 40 countries. Another, a toddler's toy subscription, has reached a valuation of $800 million with plans to IPO next year. But Milu changes the game because we don't stop at STEM and crafts. We bring things to the next level with social emotional learning. And hey, you do not need another toy or kit to just hand to your kids so they can be occupied. Milu specifically engineers our kits so that kids and adults grow and learn together. And lastly, by co-creating with the community, they're the ones helping us make sure we're reaching product market fit with every kit. So, we're engineering growth through 3 distribution channels that allow us to already generate revenue and reach profitability by Q1 of 2024. We start with B2B, where we serve busy parents through high-volume distribution partners. This allows a direct channel into e-commerce, where they can purchase a one-time buy or subscribe to our subscriptions. Not only does this create recurring revenue, but it's also a monthly reminder to just have some fun with your family. And lastly, we plan to integrate into everyday parent rhythms through partnering with retail partners such as Target and more.
Since the start of Oceans just 11 weeks ago, we had 2 major wins. First, our fully funded Kickstarter campaign, bringing us 33 in pre-seed K money to date. Not only that, but we sold our first 84 boxes, and we plan to reach our first 1,000 kit sales by the end of this year. Our second win is establishing a research lab with our first B2B partner, Chess School, giving us open access to hundreds of families for product testing, engineering with their educators, as well as securing sales. And we have more waiting in the pipeline. In 3 years, we plan to go global, beginning with Korea, using Milu Kits as an English immersion tool, gaining the love of academic tiger moms while stressing and teaching them the importance of family wellness. And that's just the start. Because on our product roadmap, and we're really excited for this, we're gonna bring you a digital Milu world with educational shows, learning apps, and AR that integrate into family rhythms. In order to do this, we're raising $300,000 in funding to secure our IP, build out our subscription model, as well as expand our network of experts. Will you invest in the next generation? Scan the QR code above to become a Milu maker. Let's reconnect the world with those who'll shape its future, because they're counting on us.
Let me introduce to Krishnamurthy. He's one of the farmers who work for the PepsiCo. He's from India and works for the company in US. He's responsible for sourcing the best potatoes so you can have the best chips in the world. But unfortunately, despite of investing the best resources, he's still getting the poor quality of crops and less co-op yield. He's not alone. There are 550 million farmers facing the same problem and thousands of companies getting less yield because they have no idea what's happening under the soil and they are completely based on the ancestral wisdom of them. The lack of data and the lack of information what's happening under the soil make this industry very hard. Hello everyone, I'm Lalit Gautam. I'm the founder and CEO of Sensegrass. Sensegrass is a world-first farm operating system that produces you the low crop yield and high quantity food. Our current food industry is facing three major problems: the excessive use of fertilizers, soil degradation, and the crop loss. When we see this problem at a scale level, we see how big is this problem. We're wasting a lot of food, emitting a lot of carbon emission, and a huge financial loss. And now imagine a tool that gives you a personalized and a real-time actionable insight from the soil. Yes, this is possible because we have built the world's first farm operating system. After 2 years of extensive research and 4 patents, we have designed and built these operating systems to reduce your input cost by 40% and improve your increase in yield around 22%. And this is also validated by some of the large corporates. Let me quickly tell you how the product works. We use 4 types of proprietary data sets. We use our own proprietary sensors that gives around 12 parameters like the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, pH, moistures. And we combine the sensor data with the satellite imageries, climate data, and the user historical information. We process all this information in a very highly designed and AI agronomist tool that process millions of data points in few seconds and give a very personalized recommendations to the corporates to make the better decision making. We share this insight with the farmer as well so they can implement these analytics in the farms to grow the best crops for you. You can see the demo. It's a single software system, processes millions of data points and gives you very personalized recommendation in few seconds. So you can control the entire supply chain of the food industry and even you can control your farm while sitting down in your bedroom and your office. We use the combination of an IoT sensor and AI. Our AI gives information at a dynamic level, which means we give a very personalized recommendation that will save your cost and increase your yield. Because we're working below the soil, using the environmental and the soil data, and giving a very right information about the fertilizers and the resources. Using our own patented soil sensor and AI agronomist, first time in this industry, we are one of the most innovative company in this segment. Our product is not the only innovative product in this room. Our business model is equally effective and innovative. We provide a very customized subscription-based business model to our corporates, which gives 6x return to our corporates. And the best thing about the subscription model is that's completely free for the small to mid-scale farmer that also provide an impact to the small-scale farmers. And just because of this effective business model, we have seen some great traction in just 1.5 years. We generating some early traction. We have reached around 20K MRR. And we also have seen some great response even during the pandemic as well. We have around 1.8 million sales dollars. We are completely full for the next 1 year. And some of the large notable clients are in the wait list for us. We have recently secured an $850K deal with the largest apple and walnut grower in the Texas and the Midwest region. The potential of growth of this industry is huge because we are serving one of the biggest markets. This industry is growing rapidly. No matter if you are in a war or a pandemic, you will always require the food. Unfortunately, because of the demand of quality food and the lengths are getting smaller, we need to find the different and the innovative way to grow the future of food. That's why we are serving this industry in a more innovative way. Right now, our focus on the 2 things. We are doing a lot of potential POCs and the sales with our clients, and also refining our scaling strategy. Our mission with the Sensegrass is to become the first unicorn in the OS marketplace segment, and also monitor 1 million acre land in the next couple of years. Why are we doing this? We are a 3rd generation farmer turned entrepreneurs. We are a serial entrepreneur team, over 30 years of experience, $2 million exits, 2 times Forbes 30 under 30, MIT 35 under team, scientists. We have the bunch of the other team member who is also supporting us to make this great product. Apart from the management team, we do have the mentors and advisors who have also helped and supported us to open the doors for the sales and as well as for the research. We are raising our seed round, And this seed round is going to help to achieve the 3 important KPIs. The product development, we are launching our version 2.0. We are also hiring some sales and marketing team and the senior data science folks, and also the commercial deployment. That will help us to reach around 1.1 to 1.2 million ARR by the next crop season. And then eventually we can go for a Series A round. If you want to be part of this journey, you want to think that you can join us to support the new generation and grow the future of food for all of us, please join us and join the Sensegrass. Thank you.
For your average American, money matters, right? But for your average American, only 25% of their income is protected. It's protected by things like Social Security and existing insurance plan. That means 75% of your average American income is unprotected. It's unprotected from risks like death, illness, disability. Super ironic because today, people are taking ownership, managing their money using digital tools. And millennials are great at budgeting their income, investing their income, and saving their income. They're just not protecting their income. But why should they care about protecting their income? Here's why. Studies show that since COVID-19, millennials are more worried about providing for their family than ever, more worried about missing a mortgage payment in the future, and also more worried about losing workplace insurance coverage. So income protection could give them peace of mind and even empower them to pursue their dreams. Unfortunately, today most of them only have involuntary options, which are Social Security, employer-based insurance plan. These are severely limited in how much income they actually protect with a lot of restrictions. What they really need is the voluntary options, like personal life insurance and personal disability insurance, which are much more comprehensive when it comes to protecting income. Yet these voluntary solutions are vastly overlooked by millennials. So why is that? Well, insurance companies are terrible at reaching them. Let's see how they do it today. They got agents to make calls, but people are busy and this process takes forever. They set up the website, but insurance are complex and there's really never a great time to research about insurance. They use the advertisement on social media when people are looking at their friend's newest update, looking for their next vacation, or even when they're looking at cute animals. And at that moment, no one wants to think about life insurance or disability insurance, and neither do I. So these ways of reaching millennials are not working. They're not buying. Millennials are not buying income protection options like life insurance and disability insurance because this opportunity isn't coming to them in the right way or at the right moment. And this when risky comes in. So risky makes an opportunity available at the key moment when millennials are thinking about their personal finance because we are embedded in their favorite financial technology. For instance, let's say they're in their favorite budgeting app. It's our technology that helps them understand their key financial risk and also provide an easy way to take actions. Let's say they just got their mortgage approved. It's our technology that provides them personalized insurance options on the spot so they never need to worry about missing their mortgage payments. Let's say they're thinking about starting a business. It's our technology, again, that helps them understand these income protection options so they can focus on pursuing their dream. You know that time you are booking a big, expensive vacation, and at that moment, you are offered the opportunity to purchase a travel or trip insurance? Risky does just that for income protection options. A B2B2C technology that helps people make the right insurance decision when they are in the right frame of mind. Hi, I'm Dennis Lee. I've been in the insurance space for the past 10 years. I have led the finance team, tech team, and launched insurance products, so I know this space, and I know what has not worked. And that's why I built Risky with my partner Sean, a tech genius in Amazon who launched many tech products successfully. We are also supported by a team of advisors of insurance business leaders. And together, we are changing the way people make insurance purchase decisions. And we do that by giving them a personalized, humanized, and streamlined insurance purchase experience. After they click on that button, they will be given a solution that's unique to them, created by our powerful AI technology. They also don't need to worry about entering or re-entering their personal information because we got them all. So these personalized approach make it so much easier for users to understand these complex options because these are created specifically with them in mind. With Risky, we help customers optimize coverage, save thousands even for highly commoditized product like term life insurance, and get it done quickly. With Risky, one can get their policy digitally in just a few minutes at the tips of their finger. For go-to-market, we are capturing the emerging fintech channel by partnering with financial wellness-based fintech companies, other insurtech platforms, and digital banks as a focus for the next 12 months. We help these businesses outsource their insurance operation and expand their product offering with ease, save millions, help their customers insure seamlessly, and of course, help them generate ancillary revenues. So we make money as a broker and general agent, so our primary revenue is a commission from the insurance company. But we will be expanding massively by monetizing our tech solution using a SaaS model going forward. Since we started just 16 months ago, a lot has happened. We have graduated from the Global Insurance Accelerator, a cohort company of the OCEAN program, partnered with 3 A-rated insurance companies, raised $150,000, built our MVP for the term life product, and key select distribution partners have either signed up or on the wait list to pilot with our solution. As we are targeting our launch in the next 2 quarters, here's the opportunity for you. We are raising $450,000 for the next 12 months to support the product development, build a go-to-market team, and unlock the value of the next step function. So with Risky, we are changing the way millions of millennials buy insurance, protect their income, and build financial resilience. So if you want to be part of this, hit me up and let's talk. Thank you.
Digital has brought so much goodness to our world. It can lead to entertainment, romance, community, connection, ease of life. Technology has the power to change our lives for the better. But it also has the power to destroy. We start by wanting a little entertainment. We find ourselves binge watching for 5 hours straight. We start by wanting a little romantic connection. We find ourselves in a series of meaningless hookups. We start by wanting to cure just a little bit of loneliness. We find ourselves sad and ashamed. We end up watching porn. Healthy desires that we attempt to satisfy by unhealthy means. What if we could consume technology without it consuming us? That's Lead Me Not. Lead Me Not is a digital wellness platform that leverages accountability, radical transparency, and artificial intelligence to fight destructive digital behavior. So imagine you're going on hour 3 of a TV show, the clock strikes 12, and boop, you get a notification. Jason, it's past midnight. You said you didn't want to be on Netflix. Last time you were in this position, you felt miserable the next morning. And you receive an alert from your best friend, your trusted partner who's lovingly asking you to do the same. This is a proactive and holistic approach towards digital wellness. It's proactive because we're alerting users before they make a decision they'll regret. And it's holistic because we're fostering introspection, reflection, and what's going on in your heart and mind that's leading you towards this behavior. Because fundamentally, we believe it's not what you're doing on your devices, it's why you're doing it. And the reality is, there's 5 billion people in this world with an internet connection, with the digital device, that could be asking themselves that question that aren't. We see at least as a $17 billion opportunity, those who struggle with general digital addiction. But for our MVP and where we've focused for the last 12 months that we've been in market is on a well-defined segment of the total population, a well-defined problem, specifically those who struggle with pornography addiction, which we see at least as a $5 billion opportunity, $1 million of which we believe is attainable in the near term. And we've actually already started to obtain this market with 300 active users, and this is without spending a penny on marketing or advertising, just being available in Google Play. 100 million data points that we've collected from users because they've consented to share their data with us, everything they're doing on their devices. We've only started to model off of this data. And 3 partners, organizations that look to Lead Me Not as a trusted resource to their customers, to their clients. And this is really significant because we see partnerships as the key towards scalability. The more organizations that deploy Lead Me Not as a trusted resource to their customers, to their clients, the easier it'll be for us to move from our freemium tiering, in which we're operating today, to actually start generating real revenue. Okay, so how are we different from what's out there today? A standard wellness platform goes something like this. A user goes online, they search for explicit content, they go through a series of events as you see on this slide, but the user ends up back at square one pretty quickly. But at Lead Me Not, we realize that this is a continuous journey. Every step is a step forward. And we start with hyper-personalization. So user onboards, they set their why. Right? We ask them, hey, why are you actually starting this journey? Why are you trying to overcome this behavior? We'll get everything from, I'm fighting for purity in my marriage, to, man, I just want to be more productive with how I'm spending my time. Then a user goes online. If they cross their digital boundaries, we set an alert to the user and to their trusted partner, their accountability partner in real time, proactively, predictively. We encourage introspection, reflection, and we're fostering community and connection in the process. So today, what we're doing is we're leveraging if-then statements to pull data from a single source to then analyze and respond, right? If this, then that. But tomorrow is an even better story. We can use AI and automation to its full extent, to its full powers, right? So the opportunity is we can pull data from multiple sources, your personal calendar, your physical location, what are you doing on your browser, what's on your wearable device, to redeem your offline and online activity to tell a better story. And these stories matter. And I know this because of my story. And my struggle with digital addiction, specifically online dating. I thought I wanted romantic connection. But what I sought and what I got was physical intimacy with woman after woman. And what I wanted then and what I want today is deeper. It's to be known and loved in ways that I never have. And I have a team of men and women who are committed to helping the world find and seek the same freedom. So today we're seeking $500,000 in pre-seed investment to grow Lead Me Not to its full vision. Today we've completely bootstrapped, and we believe that a capital injection will bring Lead Me Not to its full extent, to the full vision as we've outlined here. So if you want to help lead the world not into temptation, but freedom from destructive digital behavior, then partner with us.
My name is Brett Smith, and it's my honor to serve as the founding director for the LIFE program at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Statistics claim more than 80% of the world's population have a religious affiliation. And increasingly, people are bringing that into their entrepreneurial ventures. Entrepreneurs, investors, ecosystem players are bringing their faith into their ventures. And that's an exciting global movement. Now here's the problem. We don't know if it's working. We don't know what the consequences or best practices are, or worse yet, we don't know the unintended consequences. And that's where the LIFE program comes in. We are creating world-class knowledge and experiences at the intersection of faith and entrepreneurship. Over the last 3 years, we've been blessed to have a number of important milestones. First, we raised over $2 million in capital to advance these efforts, thanks in part to the Dan and Soroya Williamson Family Foundation. Second, we've begun to create academic knowledge in the highest academic journals, Financial Times Top 50, with academic studies at the intersection of faith and entrepreneurship. Third, we've developed a worldwide academic research conference. We've had the top scholars from around the world, some 150 people, from senior scholars to doctoral students, come to begin to create pathways into this space at the intersection of faith and entrepreneurship. We've also created a course at a public university at this intersection. How do we do faith and entrepreneurship and begin to teach our students how they take that out into the workplace? And finally, we've built an internship program where the students can begin to connect with companies that both value this intersection and begin to create career pathways into this. Now, we can't do this work alone. We rely strongly on partners, and no partner is more important to us than OCEAN. Year in and year out, OCEAN provides internships, they provide knowledge, they provide access to opportunities for our students, and we continue to provide with them and for them intellectual capital, social capital, and human capital to make this go. We couldn't be more delighted to partner with OCEAN, one of the pioneers at the intersection of faith and entrepreneurship. If you want to learn more about the work of LIFE, please refer to the QR code, which will take you to our website. We would love to have you join us on the vision of trying to create world-class knowledge and experiences to anyone, anywhere at the intersection of faith and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
And thank you for being at Demo Day. You know, when we decided we were going to do this in Atlanta, we knew right away that one of the things that we wanted to do together this week, one of the cultural experiences that we just had to take in while we were in town with our founders, was the Martin Luther King Jr. historical sites over on Auburn Avenue. So we were really lucky on Wednesday to go over there and spend a few hours in the morning touring those sites, being at the King Center, walking through, reading the plaques, seeing Dr. King's final resting place, and walking down Auburn Avenue and seeing Ebenezer Baptist Church. It was a really special time with such an incredible and beautiful group of people that you just met. And so many things obviously stick out to you in a moment like that. For me, as I was reading these plaques and looking at all these historical photos, one of the things that jumped out was this awareness of these other people that were consistently alongside Dr. King, right? People like John Lewis and Andrew Young and Rosa Parks and his beloved wife, Creba, right? And it struck me that disruptive people that are doing disruptive things, need people alongside them. They need people to come and walk with them and to cheer them on and to support them and to lock arms with them and to be there with them through thick and through thin. And I know what you're thinking right now. I really hope this guy is not about to equate the early days of the civil rights movement to the entrepreneurial journey. And I want to be very clear. I'm not doing that. But I think there's one parallel about leadership. And it's that leadership is lonely. And when you're a disruptive leader, doing a new thing, solving an immense problem, toiled and broken by what you see in the world, and committed to making a difference by building a solution that leaves the world better than you found it, that's lonely. And it can be really isolating, and your identity can really become all about that thing. And that's when you need those people to your left and to your right, and those people that will come and be alongside you on that disruptive journey, causing good trouble with you. And as I think about the entrepreneurs that you just met, and I think about the positive disruption they're trying to do in the world, I am so encouraged that there's a community alongside them, because we need them to succeed, right? And we need them to stay healthy. We need them to stay strong and in the game, right? Because we need better soil analytics so we can have better crop yields, so we can continue to feed a growing population, like Sensegrass. Right? We need help with our digital habits, like all of us, me included, like we need help curbing destructive digital habits. We need better ways to engage intentionally with the next generation in our households. Man, we need entrepreneurs to stay healthy and to stay in the game. And that's why we need all of you. And I think that's why they need all of us. And I'm so proud of what happens at Ocean. I'm so proud of the entrepreneurs and the journey that they go on, because fundamentally, we know they're trying to make the world a better place. And fundamentally for us, as people motivated by our Christian faith, we believe that that's restoring the world. It's part of partnering with God on making all things new. In Isaiah, one of the verses that sort of guides us is this word in Isaiah 58:12, where it speaks of the people repairing the broken walls, repairing the breach, building up the age-old foundations of the city, making it better, making it whole, bringing renewal and redemption to that place. And I just believe, guys and gals, that that's what you're doing. And that's why I'm so happy to be with you on this journey and for Ocean to stand alongside you. Christy, earlier, my colleague, she mentioned these we believe statements. And I would add to it, we believe this work that entrepreneurs do is impossible for them to do alone. And it requires community. And we also believe deeply that the world looks better in a few years, in a decade, and in 50 years if thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs who are driven and motivated by purpose and by faith and by community-centric, problem-focused startups are successful. And they build healthy, strong businesses that create flourishing workplace cultures. What looks different about your family, your neighborhood, your church community, if the folks there are employed by workplace cultures that are dynamic and life-giving and allow folks to come home with the best of themselves? This is why we do what we do at Ocean. It's to help people launch those sorts of things. So we think, man, the world looks like a better place in a decade if that's the case. And at Ocean, we're really committed to this early stage of the journey, because that's when it's really vulnerable. I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing some entrepreneurs that I know, and I see them kind of knowingly nodding. Like, when you're in the early stage, it's pretty lonely, it's pretty isolating, it's really vulnerable. That's when the unknown is really, really prevalent in your life. And that's when we want to be there. Because these culture makers, these entrepreneurs that change the world, sadly, they also are in peril and they're at risk, right? Suicide, anxiety, depression, divorce, all of these things over-index in the entrepreneurial population compared to the general population. It's perilous work. And so that's why we do what we do. That's why we're about what we are at Ocean, and that's why we're committed to the early stage of the entrepreneurial journey. So in my last thoughts, I would just wonder for you, wherever you are, if you're in this room, if you're on this live stream, if you're watching recorded somewhere, what agency do you have in the world? What seat do you sit in? What role do you play? And how might you not just golf clap for entrepreneurs, not just say, go get them, right? That's good. We appreciate that. We appreciate the prayers. We appreciate the thoughts, right? They appreciate all that. But man, what's it look like to lock arms with some disruptive people and to really champion the work of people that are making a difference? If you're an investor, that's pretty obvious, right? We're asking you to invest capital in people where you see opportunity in them and for yourselves, right? But what would it look like maybe to slide that capital a little earlier? Have you thought about maybe what it would look like to get involved in an earlier stage? What would it look like for you to be one of the funds or one of the angels that was part of one of the very first African-American pregnant females to ever raise $1 million seed round, Stephanie? What would it look like for you to be a part of that story? Man, I don't know, but I want to be a part of that story. And maybe you're just a leader in the world of faith or your workplace, or maybe you own a company. Maybe you're just not sure what to do, frankly, right? And you're going, I don't know, but I'm going, yeah, more of this, right? Maybe you'd be like my friend Steven, who I think's here somewhere, an old college friend. And Steven reconnected with me after like 15 years and saw what we were up to at OCEAN. And he reached out and we reconnected and he learned more. He said, I'm so moved by what you do. I just want to let you know that our company is going to be making a regular monthly commitment to OCEAN financially to support the work. OCEAN's a nonprofit. And he just said, we want Moon Baby Labs to support what you guys are up to because, man, I've lived it and it's hard and it's so important what you guys are doing. So I don't know what it looks like for you, but I would just ask, man, jump in the game with us. Come alongside these founders. Come alongside OCEAN. Let's get your name on that screen next year as some folks that were engaged and involved in this program, helping and supporting and launching the next wave, that new wave of entrepreneurs that James talked about. That is born out of hustle culture, but is not motivated by and is not compelled by that. Is compelled by something much deeper and much richer and much more sustainable and flourishing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey and this story. Really excited about what is to come. Hey, if you're watching online, thank you. For everyone, whether you're in the room or online, on our website, you can go learn all about these companies, all their executive summaries, all their contact info. They each kind of have a section where you can dive in and learn more about what they're up to. If you're here in Atlanta, we're going to have just a little bit of a party and have some fun. We have some beautifully prepared food in the cafe for you. We have some tables out here where the founders want to meet and greet you. And we are so grateful that you chose to be part of this day. Thanks for being a part of OCEAN Demo Day.